In today's video, I'm sharing exactly how I fixed my relationship with food. I'm going to put the chapters on the screen so you know what you've got yourself in for. And hope you like the little addition we've got the plant, because this room's still not decorated and I do need to finish it, but I will get around to it. Anyway, let's get into it. I needed to make this video because there was genuinely a time in my life where I would weigh out spinach, I would weigh out the coffee, not weigh out the coffee, I would weigh out the milk in my coffee, literally a splash of milk, and I would literally get the scales and weigh it out. It gives me the ick thinking about it. I would track everything to the gram, even like spray, like 1 calorie spray, and I would do that Monday to Thursday, and then Friday would roll around and I would just tell myself the usual lie, like, oh, just only have a bit of ice cream. And it was never a bit of ice cream, it was the whole tub of ice cream, and then it would be a packet of biscuits. Literally, I've spoken about this so many times on this channel, those Fox's chocolate biscuits. Oof. Like, I kind of feel a bit scarred by those. I feel like I can't go near them anymore because it just reminds me of me like lying in my bed eating those biscuits, like feeling sick and feeling very full, but just not being able to stop somehow. And the spiral would begin until Sunday night rolled round, and then just promised to get it all back on track on Monday, and I literally lived like that for years. This is what I looked like at the time, just kept going round and round and round in circles. Yes, I'm talking about relationship with food here, but that has a big impact on your body composition, how you look, how you feel, and that's what we're all about on this channel. So I will be referring to how it made me look as well, because I am someone who wants to be in a body that I like the look of, which I did not at the time. If I'm honest, the hardest part was not like eating all the food and feeling physically full and bloated, although that was like gross. That did make me feel like crap, like fatigued and low energy. And then when you go to the gym, like either that night or the next day, you just feel horrible, like you feel like you can't move, like you're a big slug. But for me, it was always the mental side of it that was the worst, because I would literally beat myself up so much. Like, yeah, I'd feel guilty, I'd feel like really frustrated and disappointed in myself, like I can't believe I've done that, like I'm never going to get there, like why do I keep doing this to myself, you know, like really just mentally like putting myself down over and over and over again. And I used to think like that would help me, like if I'm just hard on myself, then that's going to make me change. That doesn't make you change, like that just makes you sit in that horrible mood where you feel embarrassed, you feel guilt, you feel shame, you feel disappointed, and that doesn't spark change. That doesn't make you want to get up and go again. That makes you just feel like shit, and then you just sit and wallow in it. And that was the hardest part for me. And I'm going to be honest, I'm still quite hard on myself. I always have been, got very high standards, but I can work with this better now. I know how to move through these things, not just related to food, but like in life and business. If you're always gonna beat yourself up for mistakes, like you're gonna struggle to do the things you want to achieve, whether that is like build the body, heal your relationship with food, climb a ladder at work, build a business, a successful business. Like you need to be able to make mistakes and not beat yourself up again and again and again. Although that is just one part of it, and we are going to dive into that in a sec. It wasn't just like food at home that I found triggering, like birthdays. I would genuinely feel anxious about someone's birthday all week, like me thinking about it, worrying about it, stressing about it, like I don't know how I'm going to stay on track, like what am I going to eat, I'm going to fall off again, I'm going to have to start all over again. Literally, that was my mental thought patterning for years, and it was so draining. This knocked my confidence because people saw me as the healthy one. Like I was the healthy one in the week, like, but then behind closed doors, like everything would just unravel, and that didn't feel good. It felt like I was living a bit of a lie, or I was a bit of a fraud. Now I can just eat some ice cream. I can have half a tub, and if I want a full tub, some of that salty caramel ice cream from Aldi, I'll eat a full tub. I don't care. It's literally got 360 calories in. And then after is what matters, because I don't then go and eat loads of biscuits and start that spiral and all those negative thoughts. I can park it and move on with my day, which has literally improved so many things for me. Like I feel confident, I look like this now, this is what my physique looks like now compared to before. So yeah, it's pretty fucking great. I wear whatever I want to wear. I feel comfortable in my own skin. I feel comfortable in the mirror. I feel comfortable and confident around my partner, Ben. Like, that is a big thing. So it's helped in lots of different areas, not just with food, but also in other things like business, just life, like the skills that we're going to talk through in a sec. Yes, we're going to talk about food specifically, but some of them can be applied to other things, because how you deal with one thing is usually how you deal with everything. So if you've got these all or nothing thinking patterns around food, it's probably going to be creeping up in other areas of your life. So let's get into the 3 things that I focused on to heal. Do we want to say heal? I don't really like that word. I don't know why. I prefer fix. Heal makes it sound like, I don't know, you're damaged or something. This is what I did to fix my relationship with food. The first thing that I did, and this goes regardless of if you're in a fat loss phase, if you're maintaining, if you're bulking, whatever you are doing, if you're just focused on performance, whatever phase you're in, this still applies, and it is giving yourself permission to eat all foods. This sounds so simple, sounds very basic. It's like, really, is that it? But to be honest, that's the same as a lot of things in life. Sometimes the answer is more simple than we think it is. So here, what I mean is, when you're in that mindset of, oh, I'm not allowed that, I'm only allowed that bit of ice cream at the weekend, what happens? Like, you've built it up, you've got these big cravings, then you feel bad because you've eaten something that you shouldn't have, and then that whole spiral starts where you need to polish the whole lot and then move on to the biscuits because you've already ruined it. So when we've always got foods in your head that shouldn't be eaten and those are bad for you, then it's always going to come with feeling guilty, feeling bad, feeling like disappointed that you've had a slip up, or feeling bad that you've had a cheat meal. And we don't want to feel those things around food. We just want food to feel like food. Like, yes, that's a bit of chocolate. I enjoy chocolate. Let me have that piece of chocolate and enjoy it, and just crack on with my day. Go and return to work and do something nice and productive. Go to the gym and have a good session, or continue watching Housewives of Cheshire or Gossip Girl, whatever it is I'm watching. That is what I always wanted. That's probably what you want. You don't want food to feel like this controlling thing that controls your every thought, and so many feelings are attached to it, like so draining. And I feel like diet culture does not help with this. Certain influences online don't help with this. Like, everyone has different philosophies, how they approach food themselves, how they coach food, and you will come across some people online who, they don't think that you should have this sort of balance, and you should cut everything out, and you shouldn't have cheat meals. And I don't align with all of those things. And if you are someone who, yes, you like to hold yourself to a high standard, you like to eat healthy, nourishing food, you want to get into eating healthy, nourishing food more, but you also want to be able to just enjoy like a bit of ice cream, or enjoy a meal out with your partner or for your friend's birthday without feeling like all of that guilt, then I would honestly just monitor whose information you're taking in, because it does have a big impact. Stop putting limits on food. This is not the same as like just go and eat whatever you want, whenever you want. That is not what we're saying here. If you watch some other videos on the channel, you will know that we're all about having high standards here, actually having a nutrition strategy in place so you know what to do to lose fat, to get toned, to actually follow through consistently. But there is still room in your diet for a little bit of chocolate, or if you want to make your own dessert, go and do that. Or if you just want to eat the real thing, you can make room for these things. So that is what I did, and honestly, the way that I transformed from just this thing alone was huge, because then food didn't need to become this thing that I only ate at the weekend. Like, I just started to eat a bit of chocolate on a Tuesday night, and then by Wednesday, like, you're not thinking about Fridays when you can eat all that food again. So it does have a big impact. The second thing that I did is learn how to think more flexibly instead of thinking in black and white, all or nothing terms. For example, I've had chocolate today, so my whole diet is ruined. This is very black and white. There's no bit in the middle for nuance, for improvement. Like, there's no way to come back from that. You've either failed or you've won. Like, you're either on track and you're being perfect and you're being great and you're really proud, or like you've had a bit of chocolate, or you've overeaten on a Saturday, for example, and now your whole weekend is ruined, your whole diet is ruined, you're a failure, and you're never going to get there. Like, can you see the difference in these two thinking styles? And I very much used to be this person over here, like, I've failed, and if I can't be perfect, like, I'm never gonna get there, and the whole diet's ruined, my whole weekend is ruined, and I'm this, I'm that, I'm that, and girl, we really need to work on this because it's not helping you whatsoever. Makes you feel like crap, like you're almost just sitting in all those feelings and dwelling on it and putting yourself down when you don't need to. I've had a bit of chocolate, okay, let's move on. What can we do next time to prevent it? Is it that we need to plan a bit of chocolate in? Or is it that sometimes these things just happen? Sometimes we can go to a family barbecue, eat a little bit more than expected. It's okay, it doesn't mean you're a failure. So, learning how to think a bit more flexibly is massively going to help. You can do this by actually changing your food rules, which we spoke about in the first point. So, when you actually give yourself permission to eat these foods, you won't be seeing them in such black and white terms like this is good and that's bad, so now I've been good, now I've been bad. So first change your food rules, but then also changing how you think and behave is a much more conscious process. It's not the easiest, but it's worth it. So for example, the first step to doing this is actually noticing how you think, so becoming more aware of these things. So if it is, let's say, a typical situation for you might be that, let me think. Let's say you struggle with stress eating. So you get home from work, you're in the fridge, you've eaten a few things that you didn't want to eat. Your usual response might be, oh, ruined it and I'm so bad and I've failed the diet, I'm gonna have to start again next week. So we need to get better at, so we need to practice adding a pause in there so we can actually respond instead of react, because it's very natural for you to think, I've ruined it, and all those thoughts start to come in. So we want to add a pause and almost reframe. So in psychology, we call this cognitive restructuring. It's basically changing your cognitions, which is changing your thoughts, like changing how you think. So if in that moment your thought is, oh, I'm such a fuck up, we need to reframe that thought. So I've had a stressful day, I've eaten a bit more than I meant to, but it's okay. Or I'm still learning. This is one that I use myself actually. I love this one. Like, I'm still learning, because yeah, all the positive affirmations, like I'm amazing, I'm this, I'm that. If you don't believe it, like, it's just bullshit, it's not gonna happen. Whereas something like I'm still learning, or I'm still getting a hang of this, that's believable because you are actively working on it. So we need to add a pause in there and start reframing some of these thoughts as we go. So this is going to be a process that you keep going back to throughout all the situations where you would normally think, oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. We want to start reframing it. So to make this easier, you could sit down with a journal and go back to a situation and reframe it that way. That's easier than doing it in the moment. And then as you get better at that, you'll start to do it in the moment. Just take some practice. And number 3, this has been such a big one for me, learning to manage my emotions. I'm gonna be honest, I'm a sensitive girly. I'm an empath. I literally feel everything viscerally. That's not even being dramatic. Like, I feel things so deeply. So this has been a big one for me because I always used to turn to food for comfort. So when I was doing my master's degree, I literally binged and binged and binged. Like, go to the vending machine, literally buy like 5 different Maltesers, Boost Bar, Kit Kat, whatever, go to the cafe, get a piece of cake, sit there, eat it all just to like try and soothe those stressful feelings, and then like try and crack on with some work. That is how I spent my master's degree. I struggled with this before my master's, I've struggled with it when I first started business. A lot of it is down to feeling overwhelmed, feeling stressed, feeling anxious and actually being able to manage that. So if you're stressed, then 2 things that we can do to help is we've reduced the amount of stress that we're under by, let's say, getting support, getting help, delegating tasks to someone else so we can reduce stress, or we can increase how you cope with that stress. So I have done a few of these things. So I get support from my own fitness coach, business mentorship. I've been in therapy as well. I've done therapy, got a very strong support system around me in terms of like all my friends, my boyfriend, family. So that's how I get support. But then also finding better ways to cope and actually manage how you feel. So when it comes to food, a big one for this is again adding that pause and actually recognizing how you feel, because we go through a lot of the day like just on autopilot. You're not quite sure why you're at the cupboard, but you just know that you're there and you want some treats when you know that that's not what you're working towards. So we need to add a pause in there. So practice adding a pause and then checking in with yourself. So we can use the HALT acronym. Are you hungry, angry, lonely, tired? That's just an easy one to identify feelings. Or are you something else? Are you stressed? Are you overwhelmed? Are you sad? And then go and do something that will make you feel better. And again, it sounds easier said than done. A lot of these things do sound very basic, like really, is that all I need to do? But if you know how you're feeling, then that is the main part of the problem, because you can't change what you're not aware of. So practice adding the pause, checking in with how you feel, and then go and do something that's going to help change that feeling. So if you're angry, can you go for a walk or take some deep breaths? If you are sad, what do you need when you're sad? I like being around my boyfriend if I'm sad, or like watching a bit of TV in bed, just chilling out. If it is that you're actually hungry, then eating loads of treat foods isn't going to fill you up, it's just going to make you feel more hungry. So can you actually make yourself a meal that's going to fill you up, that's got some protein in, that's got some carbs in, and some fats, that's got some colour? Or is it that you just need to grab a quick snack and that's all you can do today? So yeah, you can identify how you feel, you can pause, you can go and distract yourself. So something else to mention here though is your environment. Like if you're someone who struggles with eating when you're stressed or eating when you're watching TV at night and you want to get rid of those habits, like it's going to be in your best interests to just clean up your environment and make those things less available. Because if you're sat in your room and you just know that the fridge is stocked with treats, or you've got a big treat cupboard, and that's your automatic response, like that's a habit that you've built up over time, is to go and eat those foods every time you feel an uncomfortable feeling, like it's going to be so easy for you to just go and do that. Whereas if it's not there, you're adding friction between you doing that thing. So definitely tidy up your environment. I know it's not always as easy as that. Like if you snack at work and there's stuff in the office, can you like put it away, take your own snacks, at least remove yourself from that environment if you feel like, oh, I'm just going to eat all this food. And it is about putting boundaries in place with yourself and saying no, because we do have a choice. I know that's hard to hear. It's been hard for me to hear in the past, because sometimes it feels like you don't have control over it and it literally just happens and the urges are so strong. But you do have a choice, and every time you remind yourself of that, every time you walk up to some food, add a pause and tell yourself, I'm not doing this today, and you walk away, you strengthen your ability to do that next time. Whereas every time you go over to the food and you eat it like you always have done, you're weakening your ability to say no. So next time it happens, what's going to happen? You're going to say yes. It's the same as going to the gym. Every time you go, you lift a bit more, you get stronger. The next time, you're more inclined to lift a bit heavier and get stronger. It's the same with your mindset. It's like a muscle that we can train. So I hope that you found this video helpful. It was very much mindset based, but a lot of things with food are rarely about the food that you're eating or your nutritional knowledge, and it is a lot more about how you perceive food, how you feel as a person, how you think about food, or how you manage your emotions. A lot of that is down to mindset. So a lot of, fixing your relationship with food comes down to changing how you feel, how you behave, and how you perceive food, which is something that I work on a lot with my own clients because it's very important. So I hope that you loved this video. Let me know what you took away from it in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.